I'm trying to record this real quick because I'm near the front door and I think my tripod's gonna be arriving soon, so I don't want the Amazon delivery driver to see me. I just feel like it'd be so awkward. But I am going to be doing a reading vlog on a book that's I've kind of been anticipating for such a long time, and I feel like everybody have read it except me. And if you listen and read to Colleen Hoover, I feel like with the one book you have to at least read, it's like almost like an assignment, is It Ends With Us. And I'm excited to get into this. I've seen different videos on this and I've seen how people's reactions were. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for my tripod to come in because my arm hurts. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this book, and I'm going to be documenting like my reactions and to see how I feel about it. I'm probably not going to be doing any spoilers in this video. If I do, I will let you guys know. So yeah. Hey guys, so I want to do a mini update just because I am going to start studying and get some homework done. I kind of did procrastinate on that yesterday, so I'm going to have to get a lot started and a lot more done today. But I did start It Ends With Us last night, which I'm glad I finally started because I've been kind of postponing it. I think I was starting to get into a reading slump, and I'm not saying that this completely pulled me out of it yet because I'm only on chapter 5, so I'm on page 67. Yeah, I'm on page 67. And not much has really happened. As you saw yesterday, we were going to like the reptile store and everything, but we were kind of running around town, which was actually really fun, but it took a lot longer than I expected. So I didn't get as much reading done. It was really nice yesterday. It was like a really cozy, rainy reading day. And if you're a book reader, you know that rainy days are the best bookish days. At least for me, I love rainy days, especially for catching up on reading. But I'm glad I started the book. It kind of took me a minute to get started, just because I couldn't, for some reason. I think because I was starting to get into a reading slump, I've been completely out of it when it comes to just getting to a new world, which is kind of making me sad because I feel like I have to read every day, but I haven't read the past 3 days. But I'm hoping that this is like everybody's like on their bookshelf for sure, and everybody have talked about this. It's like, I don't have to talk about it because everybody's have already talked about this. So I'm hoping that will pull me out of it. I didn't get started on reading this until maybe actually like really late last night. We did like a workout and then like caught up on things, and then I started reading just really late just to kind of help ease the night a little bit, which I got a lot more done than I expected. I was planning on landing on chapter 3, which I don't know if you guys are like this, but whenever I read, I have to land on chapters. So I got down to chapter 5. We haven't really had much happen within the book so far. We've been introduced to Ryle, which I don't know how I feel about him. I feel like, I don't know, I just know that we're gonna start to hate him. I can just kind of tell, and we're gonna like Atlas more. We haven't been introduced to Atlas officially. We've just kind of been introduced to like their past history a little bit and where he's from, about his little mini tiny backstory. I don't really know exactly everything that's happened to him yet, but I know how he gets introduced to her life. And yeah, so we're kind of getting to that a little bit. And I'm also at the part when she meets Alyssa, which I thought was kind of cute because Alyssa seems like a really bubbly character, so I'm hoping she can stay like that and keep the book a little bit more lively, because we always need that protagonist best friend that, you know, keeps the story like up and coming. But yeah, not much has happened. I'm hoping that after I get some studying done and some homework done, I can get more of this done. I'm liking it so far. It's nothing too intense for me. There is some heavy topics and there's some heavy things already in the beginning of this book. I'm just gonna be 100% honest. But I think because I was expecting it to be really dramatic and emotional, I was expecting the book to have some type of intensity to it or something where it's like really heavy. So I was already expecting something like that already. And I'm already expecting that I'm not gonna like Ryle, but he does seem a little bit full of himself, so there's that. And then Atlas, other than having a really cool name, I don't really know much about him except how they kind of got introduced into each other's lives, which was really it's so sweet. But yeah, nothing intense is like holding me. I'm not completely immersed into the book yet, but I'm sure it's because I just started it and I haven't really got that far into it. It is keeping me interested to where I want to keep reading it, but I think it's because I'm more interested because I want to know what all the expectations and what everybody's talking about. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. And I'm gonna be catching up on some homework and studying today, and then hopefully I can have some time to catch up on more reading because I'm not that far in it. I'm liking it so far. I just want to see like what's gonna happen, what the hype is about. And then also I thought it was so funny when she was talking about Ellen, and she talks about how she's writing letters to Ellen, because growing up I've always loved Ellen. I felt like her show was just so funny and hilarious, and she's just like a really happy person to where like reading around her you just want to laugh. And yeah, so I just thought it was hilarious that she writes letters to her, because I grew up loving her, so I'm like, oh wow. I just didn't know that was such a, you know, growing up I didn't really have like a lot of my friends who would talk about Ellen or be obsessed with her as much as like I was like obsessed with her shows. Like I dreamt of wanting to go to one of her shows. I will give you guys an update. I'm gonna start some homework and I'll hopefully get some reading done today. Hey guys, I just came out of the library and I want to do like a mini library book haul. I decided to check out The Red Queen because I've heard so many amazing things and I want to give it a try. I also have been wanting to read like academia ever since I read If We Were Villains. And so I wanted to try Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo because I've heard so many amazing things. I've also got a couple picture books for my daughter that we can read together. So obviously the original If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, and this one was so cute. It's called A Brave Cat. So I want to give that a try. But I wanted to also document this because this is my first time making a library card in this local library. I haven't made one since way before COVID, and this was such an experience. I was so excited because I miss going to the library. It was one of my childhood memories, and so I wanted to make this a trip to come out here and create an account and get a library card. And I kind of originally did it so I can get ebooks on my Kindle, but I figured since I'm here, I just want to look around and walk around, and it was just such a fun experience again. It just unlocked this happiness that I've had since I was like a little kid coming here, and this was just a new library I've never seen before, so I got to just explore it and look around. Also, it was just so cool and so comforting knowing how friendly and supportive the staff were. They were just so helpful. Whenever I had any questions, they were just right there helping me out, and they didn't seem like annoyed or anything. And I was just a little bit like, I kind of had a little bit of social anxiety going in because I haven't been out in public by myself for such a long time, and I don't know, it was so fun. They made it so comforting, and everybody there was so helpful with all my questions, and it was just quiet and clean and nice in there. So I really am so happy I did this, and yeah, I wanted to document this. I feel like creating this booktube account kind of pushed me a little bit more into making a library card and library account again, and I've been wanting to for the longest time, but I've just put it on hold for the longest time. So I'm so happy I did this, and I'm actually really proud of myself for doing this. And I'm so grateful too that everybody there, the staff was so friendly, so supportive, so accommodating, and so nice. Even the receptionist, when she made my card, she was so nice. So yeah, it was just such a fun experience. I would definitely recommend, if you don't have a card, I would definitely recommend making one at your local library. It's one of the best free things you can do in your life, and I honestly forgot how much I love doing this. I'm sorry for this horrendous angle and lighting. I'm on page 229 and she was in the shower and then something happened and I had a bad feeling. I just knew, I had a feeling that this would be discovered. And now it's getting really, really serious. Now I can already tell it's gonna get really tense. I'm a little bit excited, but I also have anxiety. Also, I'm talking really quiet because the baby's sleeping and it's nap time right now. So I don't want to wake up the baby, but I had to do like a quick update and just check in right now. Okay, back to the video.
Ew, ew, ew. Ew.
Okay, it's so like annoying. I wonder if any readers have actually liked Ryle, but no. No, 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 no. Oh, freaking hey. What the freak? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's so devastating. Oh. This is so freaking intense. Oh my gosh. That's so sad. Okay, that's actually really sad. On page 240, like the fourth line at the bottom. I did not see this coming. I tried to think of so many different possibilities of what this could have been. I'm like, I didn't even see it coming. I didn't even put it together or anything. How does she write this stuff? Like, hey guys, we have reached the end of this reading vlog and I just want to share my final thoughts. So I finished It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover a few days ago and I feel like I've been sitting on these thoughts for the past few days about how I really feel about this book. Overall, I do want to rate it a 4-star read. I feel like at first, I'm gonna be 100% honest, I didn't really get that immersed and that connected to the story until maybe about halfway of the book. I do like a lot of parts within the first part of the book, but I just felt like the pace felt a little bit slow for me, but it wasn't anything where it was just boring or I wanted to DNF it or anything like that. I was still really invested in the story to find out what happened and to find out, mainly because I wanted to see what people's thoughts were and to see why they felt like that. And now after reading part 2 and the other half, I totally understand everybody's reactions and thoughts to this book. So I feel like it completely hooked me in more towards the part 2 of the book, but I do understand part 1 was more of trying to build up the characters and build up their history and for you to kind of connect a little bit more with it, because that is exactly what the book did. after part 2 happened, I do have to say that overall, this book, I'm gonna give a heads up, it has major trigger warnings, a lot of trigger warnings, and the way that she portrayed just everything and reflected everything, it's just, she represented just toxicity, anxiety, anger, and just so many different emotions that can just portray within like a really bad situation and also good situations. She just portrayed that really well, and I feel like she wrote this beautifully, but in such a heartbreaking way. Some of the friendships she built, like I loved her relationship with Alyssa and Marshall, and I don't know, I just felt like that was really cute and really sweet, and it was lighthearted too amongst like the intensity and drama of this book, and just it was just so sad. It was, when I first read it, I didn't really care for Lily at first, just because I didn't feel like there was much to mention towards her. I mean, not much to mention, but I just felt like I didn't really get as connected to her until maybe about further into the story. And then the more I got to know her, the more it started to feel like she was a friend going through these things, and you just felt so heartbroken for the characters. Like the more you progress in the story and the more that you saw them in these situations, you just felt so heartbroken and torn, and just like the anxiety and the many times I felt like flinching because I was just so scared about what was gonna happen definitely was put into this book. I can see why so many people reacted to this book just intensely, because there were certain parts, there were certain lines that were just like mind-boggling, and it did capture me in such a way where it was so sad, but also some parts were just so beautiful. And to see where other characters ended up and how they progressed in life, it was just, that was what I needed in the end. And also throughout the story too, you also got a lot of sweet moments throughout the story. I did love her interactions with Lily and Atlas. I just thought it was so cute, and some things that happened in the book were just so freaking sweet and so cute. And I also loved like her relationship. The more you kind of read it, the more you understood, and like her relationship with her mom and how much she just cares about her mom and the story. I just thought it was just, overall, this book was really good. It pulled so many emotions out of me, anger, anxiety, and I reflected on it in such a way where I was just, it just felt so toxic, but so heartbreakingly beautiful. I just feel like I can't really put into much words without spoiling the story, but if you are okay with the trigger warnings, just be sure to look it up first. But I would definitely recommend giving this book a try. Just know that it is such an intense, dramatic book, and it's not like lighthearted. I don't think it's lighthearted at all. But there is parts in it where it was kind of like, okay, she balanced it out where it wasn't just a heavy book and it was just brooding. So I really feel like she portrayed this so well. And one of my favorite parts actually was the author's notes at the end. But just a heads up, don't read the author's notes if you haven't read the book yet, because there are spoilers at the end. I think she puts it at the top of it anyways. But the author's notes in reflection to this book, it was so, I don't know, it was just like put me into so much emotions. I'm still kind of trying to reflect the proper words for how I felt about this book. I know for sure I want to rate it a 4-star read, because yeah, I mean, I think the only reason I do like a 5-star was just because the first half I was kind of, I did like parts of it, but some of it I felt like I didn't feel as connected to it until maybe the second part. But I understand the first part, because you have to build up the characters, you have to know their history, you have to know more about them, and the more you connect with them, the more the intense parts really hit you. So I can totally see why everybody's reactions were the way they were, and I can see why a lot of people do love this book. But I wouldn't say this is like my most favorite book. It's just, I feel like the way that she reflected particular relationships, emotions, just the emotions she can pull from the reader when writing this book, I just feel like she just did it perfectly, because this book really did pull those things out of me. And yeah, I just felt like it was really intense. I do want to give like I don't know if it's like something you guys need to know, but I didn't cry. So I don't think this was a book that made me cry my head off. This book isn't something that made me cry my head off, but it was something that made me stop and like close the book and like kind of think like, what did I just read? Like what? Like I had to reflect on what I just read and how insane it was. And I don't know. I wouldn't say this is my most favorite book though, but it is something that I feel like if you know anybody going through this type of situation or have been in this situation, this is a book that really it just reflected on it so well. So it's just, you just put yourself as if you're in the character's shoes or if they were a friend of yours, and it just made you feel so connected and so emotional towards them. I feel like the book had a great ending. I feel like the way that she built up the characters, their connections, their history, it was just perfect. I also love, there's like little journal entries in there. At first, I didn't really like them just because I kind of felt like, I was like, I don't remember being like that in high school. But then the more you read about it, and there's certain parts in it that connect with the journal entries, it's like, okay, there's certain parts that happen within the journal entries and then connect to the present time. It was so cute, like little, like tiny little Easter eggs or little things that popped up. It was so romantic and so freaking cute. So yeah, that was like one of my favorites. It ended up being one of my favorites. But I would definitely give this a 4-star read. I had so much fun filming this vlog. I love doing these type of videos. I feel like I love watching these videos, and then I love recording these type of videos. Whether it's recording or editing, these videos are just so fun to do, and I want to do more videos like this, more like sit down or like reaction type videos, even just weekly reading vlogs or reading vlogs in general. They're one of my favorites to watch. If not, they're one of my favorites to record. So I want to do more like these, and I hope you guys had so much fun watching this video and watching my reactions and reading the book with me. I would definitely recommend giving this a try if you guys are okay with the trigger warnings. And if you've already read it, I hope that my words kind of were able to pull that same type of feeling that you had as well, because I don't know what to, like, how to put this into words, but it was just, I could just put it into emotions. But yeah, I hope that you guys had so much fun in this video, and I will see you guys on the next video. I will see you guys soon. Bye.